Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Arunodayam's Biology. I know very well that you are all waiting for class 10 biology new syllabus videos, isn't it? I am also excited to start. Let us start today. First chapter is life processes. So before moving into the actual topic, let us have some introduction part of our chapter in this video. In this video, we are having some introduction part. Okay, let me ask you one thing. If something is present in front of you, how can you distinguish that as a living organism or living or non-living organism? I'm giving you three examples. A dog is running in front of you, a cow is chewing its cud, and a man is shouting loudly on the street. So there are three situations in front of you. So dog, cow, and man. All these three are living organisms or non-living things. How can you say that whether they are living organisms or non-living things? You can obviously say that these three are living organisms. Why? Because all of them are showing muscular movements. A dog is running with its leg, a cow is chewing its cud with its teeth, a man is shouting loudly. So all of them are showing muscular movements, no? So we can call them as living organisms, isn't it? If these three living organisms are not showing any muscular movement, for example, if these three are sleeping, if they are asleep, if they are not showing any muscular movement, then how can you tell that they are living organisms? By observing their breathing, isn't it? If something is taking breath, we can consider them as living organisms. Man, cow, and dog obviously take breathing. So we can call them as living organisms. So anything which shows muscular movement and breathing are called as living organisms. Which do not show are called as non-living things. Let me confuse you. If you have a plant in front of you, how can you distinguish it as a living organism or non-living thing? A plant will not show any muscular movement or it will not show any obvious breathing movement. So, can you tell whether it is a living organism or non-living organism? So, by seeing the green color leaves of the plant, we can tell that the plant is alive. The plant is a living organism. So, by seeing their green color leaves, we can tell plant is alive or it is a living organism. For example, there are some plants which do not have green color leaves. They have colorful leaves. For example, croton plant. Croton plant have leaves other than green color. Can we call croton plant as dead? Can we call croton plant as a non-living thing? No, it is also a living organism. Why? Because it also has a life inside it. How can you tell that? By seeing their movement or by breathing? No, in case of plants, we cannot observe any movement or breathing with our naked eye. Just by seeing their growth, we can tell that. In case of plants, we can tell whether it is a living organism or non-living organism by their growth related characters, isn't it? Of course, growth related characters are also not obvious. Not obvious. So, visible movements as the defining characteristics of life is not enough. So, by observing these examples, we can clearly say that we should not take movement as a characteristic feature of living organism. There are organisms, they are living organisms which do not show movement and breathing, but they have life in them. Okay, we should not take movement as a main criteria for defining living organism. We are all living organisms, no? We all have some movements which are not visible to our naked eye. For example, molecular movements. We have molecular movements inside us. For example, take viruses as an example. Viruses does not show any moment, but they are not considered as dead organisms. If they are present outside the host, they do not show any movement, they are considered as non-living thing. But if they enter any host or if they infect any living organism, then they show movement, they show reproduction, and they show life processes. Then we can call that virus as a living organism. So viruses are very peculiar in nature. When they are present outside the host, they act as non-living things. When they enter into a host, they act as living organisms. So they also show molecular movements. Okay, so these molecular movements are obviously necessary for living organisms. In case of living organisms, our body is well organized structure. Our body has so many cells. Okay, these cells still have so many components in them. All these cells together form some tissues. These tissues forms organs. So many molecular movements takes place in our body in living organisms. If any damage occurs to this organized structure, then the life of the organism will become difficult. So there is a need for repair and maintaining of this structure. So if anything damage occurs to the structure of a living organism, the life of organism will become difficult. So repairing is necessary here. Maintaining is necessary here. That repairing and maintaining of the living organism is taken over by life processes. Life processes help in repairing and maintaining the structure of living organisms. That is what we are going to learn in this chapter. We are going to learn about the life processes in our next videos. Okay, so that is our topic today. So we have learned about living and non-living organisms differences. So there are some characters which tell us whether that particular thing is living or non-living, but we should not take these as criteria. Why? Because there are some organisms which do not show movement and breathing obviously, apparently, to our naked eye. So molecular movement is present in our body. It is very very necessary for us. We have also already learnt in our previous classes also about molecular movements, and we have learnt about repairing and maintaining the body structures, that is life processes. So we are going to learn about life process in detail in our next chapters. If you have any doubts in this video, please ask me in comment section. I'll clarify you. Thank you so much for watching. Jai Hind.